Another visitor? You must be here to join in the plunder of the old Jedi Enclave. You have to see Administrator Adari first. You're one of the salvagers, right? Your ship looks banged up enough to be part of that lot, but you look different. Then who are you? The only recent visitors we've had on Dantooine have been salvagers and a slew of mercenaries.
You used to live here?
The Jedi Enclave on Dantooine was one of the major academies for young Padawans and apprentices. Many Jedi lived here once or twice.
Really? You seem pretty well armed for a farmer. But a lot of us joined the military during the Jedi Civil War. This is your first time back, a lot has changed. You may want to go into Khoonda and ask around about your family. There was a lot of movement when the Sith invaded. Hopefully everybody you knew is safe. Khoonda is the big building just outside the landing port. It used to be the estate of a man named Matali, but he and his family disappeared around the time of the bombardment. The administrator rebuilt it, and now this is our center of government. I know it doesn't look like much, but there aren't many settlers that live on this planet. This building is the start of something new for us. We're very proud of it. She was the agricultural administrator of Dantooine. After the Sith attack, she kept us together. Without her, the only thing you'd see around here are mercenaries. We had problems with Mandalorian mercenaries even before the Jedi Civil War. The Jedi helped clear most of the problem up, but after the war, many soldiers from both sides of the conflict became mercenaries. And since we're so far from the core, some started gathering here. The difference between an out-of-work mercenary and a raider is a vibroblade's edge. The only thing we can prove they've done is intimidate a few farmers. The farmers give them goods, money, or food just to stay on their good side. The only one that isn't scared of them is the administrator. There have also been a lot of disappearances recently, and not all of them can be blamed on Cath hounds. But nobody can prove the mercenaries are responsible. A farmer here and there, or a family. We lost enough people during the war that keeping the Cath hound and Kinrath populations under control hasn't been possible. So there are a lot of animal attacks. Some deaths, too. The disappearances might be just coincidence, but a lot of the stubborn folks seem to be more accident-prone. Have you ever sliced a Jedi security door? The old ruins are secure from salvagers unless they get permission from Adari. Just head into the building and you'll find your way to the administrator. I'll be over by the entrance if you need anything else. Ready.
What do you want? I don't have time for cursed salvagers. Well, you don't look like a damn mercenary, and you don't smell like a stinking farmer. Why else would you be here? Fine, then leave me to my business. You again? What do you want? I'm busy. Salvagers are a crazed lot of treasure hunters, looking to loot something of value from the ruins of the Jedi Enclave. Most of them end up broke, or dead. If you ask me, anything of value that was in the Enclave has already been plundered. Nothing but rumor. They say the spirits of the angry dead haunt the ruins. On a quiet night, you can hear the ghosts howling and scraping around. Oh, you know, the folks around Khoonda. Go there yourself and get the details firsthand. You'll find the Khoonda outpost just outside the landing port. Is this going to take long? I'm busy, you know. Not sure what they're doing here other than causing trouble. There's not really much work here for mercenaries. Maybe they're here to collect the bounty on that Jedi. I don't know for sure. That's what they say. Oh, you know, the folks around Khoonda. Go there yourself and get the details firsthand. You'll find the Khoonda outpost just outside the landing port. Is this going to take long? I'm busy, you know. Can't you tell? I'm a mechanic. In fact, I'm the only mechanic here in Khoonda. I'm responsible for maintaining everything mechanical or electrical at the Khoonda outpost. That damned alien has set up a shop outside Khoonda. If you ask me, I think he's stripping the machinery around Khoonda and selling it back to us. I'd like to see you do a better job at fixing the droids, security doors, and gun turrets. Now quit bugging me.
It's coming. Greetings and good day, traveler. On behalf of the Khoonda settlement, I am programmed to welcome you to Dantooine. Is there something I can do to serve you? My apologies. I have no recollection of the Sith invasion topic. Error. Memory overflow. Resetting. May I be of any further service to you? Processing. Exterior damage analysis. Level 7 impairment. Multiple casing breaches detected. Bipedal servos misaligned by 32 degrees. Memory storage overflow. Memory unit is approximately 56 months overdue for maintenance. Greetings, Jedi. Welcome back to Dantooine.
Hey, did that droid just call you a Jedi?
May I be of further service to you, Jedi?
No mistake about it. That droid is calling you a Jedi. Yeah, sure you do. I've got to tell the others.
Greetings, Jedi. May I be of any further service to you? Dantooine is a rural world, far removed from most galactic trade routes. Historically, agriculture has been Dantooine's primary industry. Since the destruction of the Jedi Enclave, salvage of the ruins has become a key area of growth for the local community. The famed ruins of the Jedi Enclave can be found northwest of the Khoonda outpost. You may visit the ruins at your own risk. Zeron strongly urges salvagers to avoid the highly dangerous sublevel of the Enclave ruins. Approximately 5 years ago, the Dark Jedi Malak and his Sith fleet assaulted Dantooine. The surprise of the initial orbital bombardments prevented any resistance from the surface. The attack destroyed much of the Jedi Enclave, leaving only the sublevel partially intact. The Sith attack also concentrated heavily on some obscure ruins to the south, but the reason for this is unknown. You are on the register as one of the Jedi who left the Enclave to fight in the Mandalorian Wars. My memory has no record of your return before now. You had no direct interaction with this droid. However, I had one instance of a conversation between Masters Vrook and Vandar regarding you. Beginning playback. Error. Recording partially corrupted. Resolving.
Today I caught him in a heated argument with my Padawan. His master refuses to properly discipline. I want to know what action you intend.
Vrook, I respect your wisdom, but it is not your concern.
But uncontrolled. Whatever the other Padawans see him do, they are quick to do the same. Other students dislike him intensely.
True, an average student of the Force, but with a unique strength, is a natural leader.
I strongly disagree. Mediocre Jedi, lust for power, will lead to the dark side. Furthermore, it...
Recording degraded. End playback. May I be of any further service to you? The local militia occasionally offers employment to qualified soldiers. Speak to Zeron in the Khoonda outpost. Additionally, many visitors come to Khoonda to explore the ruins for salvage opportunities. Khoonda's salvage industry is a main source of income for the local community. At their own risk, salvagers may remove relics from designated salvage areas within the ruins. The fee to remove a relic from Dantooine is proportionate to the appraised value of the item. For more details, speak to Administrator Terena Adare at the Khoonda outpost. May I be of any further service to you? The main area of interest for visitors is the Khoonda outpost. There you will find the local officials who preside over the Dantooine colony. Administrator Terena Adare and militia leader Zeron. Zeron strongly urges salvagers to avoid the highly dangerous sublevel of the Enclave ruins. Due to reduced militia manpower, several dangerous beasts overpopulate the more rural areas of Dantooine. For more information, speak with Zeron in the Khoonda outpost. The Khoonda outpost is just outside this landing facility. May I be of any further service to you? I am conducting my appointed rounds. May I be of any further service to you? If you will excuse me, I must continue my appointed rounds.
You'll find little welcome here, Jedi. For your own good, I recommend you speak to Administrator Adari, quickly finish your business in Khoonda, and go. I will answer your questions. She was the agricultural administrator of Dantooine. After the Sith attacked, she kept us together. Without her, the only thing you'd see around here would be mercenaries. We'd had problems with Mandalorian mercenaries even before the Jedi Civil War. The Jedi helped clear most of the problem up, but after the war, many soldiers from both sides of the conflict became mercenaries. And since we're so far from the core, some started gathering here. The difference between an out-of-work mercenary and a bandit is just a vibroblade's edge. The only thing we can prove they've done is intimidate a few farmers. The farmers give them goods, money, food, or whatever just to stay on their good side. The only one that isn't scared of them is the administrator. There have also been a lot of disappearances recently, and not all of them can be blamed on Cath hounds, but nobody can prove the mercenaries are responsible. A farmer here and there, or a family. We lost enough people during the war that keeping the Cath hound and Kinrath populations under control hasn't been possible, so there are a lot of animal attacks. Some deaths, too. So the disappearances might be just coincidence, but a lot of the stubborn folks seem to be more accident-prone.
I heard a rumor that the administrator met with a Jedi. If that's true, I'll quit. I'm gonna work for someone that associates with them.
I think Tarn has finally cracked, running around like a madman, raving that he was being chased by a Jedi.
Oh, Tarn is an idiot, to be sure. But he seemed genuinely frightened, and perhaps he did see something.
Do you actually believe a Jedi would return here? After all they've done to us? They wouldn't dare.
They certainly would. You remember how they were. Always so superior, so arrogant, and never lending a hand when we really needed them.
I still don't believe it.
You should. My cousin's friend, he used to tend the gardens around the Enclave. He swears he saw a Jedi in Khoonda. Could be hiding anywhere.
Well, I hope it's true. I hear there's a bounty on them, and we could certainly use the money.
Unless somebody beats you to it.
The salvagers keep coming here and bothering the militia. That Garevik is the worst of them. If it weren't for the Jedi, we'd be a prosperous community. They brought us nothing but trouble.
Welcome to Khoonda. You're a salvager, right? You'll need to see Administrator Adare to get access to the ruins. If you need directions to anything else, just ask. You're not. The only heavily armed people that visit us are either salvagers or mercenaries. And you don't look quite gritty enough to be a mercenary. The things that would most interest you are our weapon merchant Anzeron, the leader of our militia. Akere is still around here somewhere too. He sells droid components. Just go to the central corridor and make a right. His shop is the first on the right. If you get into any trouble, here's the person you'd contact. Unfortunately, recent problems with the salvagers and mercenaries have kept him quite busy. The mercenaries cause disruptions for some of our outlying settlers. They are a constant source of friction for us. I hear the salvagers are having some internal problems too. No, I couldn't. If you're really interested in that, just speak to Zeron. We hope it will become the new center of government for the settlers. The administrator has been trying to organize us in the wake of the Jedi Civil War. We're a small group of settlers on the edge of Republic space. The building isn't large, but it's only the beginning. Certainly. What do you want to know? Her office is directly behind this room. You really can't miss it. She can see you now if you like.
A lot of people here hate Jedi, but when they were here, they tried helping us. I don't blame them.
Are you waiting for the administrator too? You won't have to wait too long. But if you want results, now that you may never get here. Khoonda's like a droid without his power cell. Useless. We have problems all over, and the most you can get out of the administrator is a pat in the back.
I'm sick of all their excuses and empty words. I need justice now.
I fought in the war, and I know how to use my blaster rifle. If the administrator or Zeron doesn't do something, then I will.
Salvagers are the problem. They strip bare the ruins that belong to the people of Dantooine. Then they sell what they find back to us at inflated prices.
I'm not a violent man. I've had my share of it in the war. I sincerely hoped I could just hang my blaster rifle on the wall as a souvenir for my grandchildren.
But I can't farm without my equipment. Well, yes and no. I brought my moisture vaporator to Khoonda to be serviced. On the way back to my farm, I took a shortcut next to the Enclave ruins. Damn Lagrix came out of nowhere. I had to run before they made a meal of me. When I returned to retrieve my equipment, the salvagers had already stripped it bare.
My farm is the closest to the Enclave ruins. It has to be someone nearby, and if the mercenaries wanted it, they'd just take it in broad daylight. The closest place besides that is the salvager camp, so it has to be them. You ever met one of them? Thievery wouldn't be too far a stretch for any of them. The other day I had to take a shot at one of them. Soon someone is going to get killed, and Dantooine has enough trouble without that. A lot of farming equipment. It's not even valuable, just important for the moisture vaporators and hydroprocessors. The thief must be desperate for credits. I suppose you could. Actually, you almost look like a salvager.
If you could go to this salvager camp and convince the salvager Joran to return my modulator, I would be very grateful.
I'm not rich, but I have some souvenirs from the war I could give you. It's right next to the ruins of the Jedi Enclave. Just follow the smell. You can't miss them. That's great. I'm certainly not getting any help around here. If you need to know anything more, just ask me.
Zeron keeps goading the mercenaries. I think he should let the little things slide. He's making things worse for everyone.
Your luck is not of the hapless settler. You are the newcomer that lands in a battered ship, yes. No friendly greetings are here for you. You act like I have insulted your woman. Your ship I haven't seen. But if it takes after you, it can't be in perfect condition. I am done being inconvenienced by you. Ah, you have called me. Have I not told you that I don't like interruptions? Now, this is a disruption that is most welcomed. This news bears some thought. You have done well. This time, do not interrupt me again. Preparations need to be made. Another was not expected so soon.
What brings you to Khoonda? Do you have any troubles to report? I'm here to help. I just hope you aren't here about Garivek. You haven't? Well, that's something. I'm the second in command over here, and we keep getting incidents. Our staff is stretched thin. Too thin. If you do have trouble, I'm not the one to talk to. You need to talk to Zeron. He takes a hands-on role as the militia captain. This is sensitive. It's not really a secret, though. A lot of people are upset with Zeron. He's a hard man and doesn't answer to anybody. Except, I suppose, the administrator. The thing is, he expects everyone to follow all the laws. That's not normally a bad thing, but the mercenaries are used to having a bit more freedom. So it's like Zeron keeps prodding a rancor with a stun stick. To a rancor, it's just a minor nuisance. But if you keep at it, he's gonna fight back. The mercenaries aren't unreasonable. They're mostly just war veterans looking for work. But Zeron just keeps poking them. So he has to get involved to make sure that the militia does what he wants. Otherwise, we'd probably give the mercenaries some room. Dantooine has had mercenaries on it for years. I've talked with some, and they're not unreasonable. There's gotta be some sort of compromise we can both live with. Using my own analogy against me, the mercenaries aren't rancors. They're people like you and me. But if you keep provoking them, it's just dangerous. I think we should be working on getting along. It's hard to follow orders that have you make things worse. There's danger everywhere. I think the direction we're headed may be even more dangerous. I can see we don't agree on this. Maybe we should just talk about something else. I don't even want to get into it. Ask around if you want to know the details. It'll just make my headache worse if I talk about it. I don't know what we'd do without Administrator Adare. She managed to plow through a lot of the family bickering once the Sith left during the war. She's kept us together. Oh, and, Zeron too, I suppose. This is sensitive. It's not really a secret, though. A lot of people are upset with Zeron. He's a hard man and doesn't answer to anybody. Except, I suppose, the administrator. The thing is, he expects everyone to follow all the laws. That's not normally a bad thing, but the mercenaries are used to having a bit more freedom. So it's like Zeron keeps prodding a rancor with a stun stick. To a rancor, it's just a minor nuisance. But if you keep at it, he's gonna fight back. The mercenaries aren't unreasonable. They're mostly just war veterans looking for work. But Zeron just keeps poking them. So he has to get involved to make sure that the militia does what he wants. Otherwise, we'd probably give the mercenaries some room. Maybe. It's hard to say. They meet a lot, but it seems to me they let each other alone for the most part. I'm sure there's a lot going on with the militia that the administrator doesn't even know about. It's tricky. You see, I think Zeron may be taking this whole thing a little personal. I'm not sure. Just a guess. I also think he's doing more to provoke them than just investigating every complaint against them hard. He's up to something. If someone could just ask a few questions, turn up some answers, maybe see if Zeron isn't being completely honest with the rest of us, well, then maybe he should be replaced. Just look around. See if Zeron's up to something on the side. Something that'll hurt the fragile peace we got with the mercenaries. So if you happen to find something out like that, you should see Administrator Adare. If you have to do some footwork to check into things, you'll be compensated. We should probably talk about something else. I hate going behind the captain's back. I just feel... I just have a feeling about it. I'll tell you anything that's public knowledge. Most militia news passes by me and Zeron. I might be able to help. Oh, you heard about that. We have so much to look into that Sulru's concern is pretty low on our list. We asked the salvagers, but they claim that the salvager responsible is nowhere to be found. I've heard that rumor too. People get really riled up about Jedi around here. Some people seem to have a selective memory. During the war, the Jedi were a big help here. They did everything for us, from clearing out dangerous beasts to solving a murder investigation. I try to stay out of it, though. Standing up for Jedi is one way to become unpopular around here. Easy to say for someone that doesn't live here. I'd rather grab an unshielded power coupling than get involved in that debate. The militia's dealing with enough already. You're not wrong there. For what good it'll do, if it comes up, I'll say what I think is right. You happy? I hope so. You may be my only friend in a few days. Talking about Jedi is just depressing these days. Any other cheerful problems you want to talk about? All right, stay out of trouble now.
A visitor. Please, come in. Welcome to Khoonda. I am Administrator Turina Adari. You're the owner of the, ship that just landed? Depending on your business here, the pleasure may be mutual, but you didn't answer my question. Is that ship yours? And unless I'm much mistaken, that's the Ebon Hawk. That vessel has been on Dantooine before, during the war. That was a Jedi vessel. That is an unfortunate truth, and a wise request, which of course I will honor. Most settlers here hold bitter memories of the Sith occupation. Right or wrong, our settlers blame the Jedi and their hidden enclave for their suffering. I remember the old Jedi Masters and the considerable help they lent to Dantooine. I still maintain discreet connections with Jedi. I suppose your arrival here is no coincidence. My friend, let's just call him Vrook. We've known each other for many years, and our continued friendship could create many problems in the current political climate. He came to Dantooine not too long ago. He was looking into something quite important. He's gone missing recently. Did he send for you in case something went wrong? Vrook and I had a mutually beneficial arrangement for several weeks. He went to the Jedi Enclave sublevel recently and hasn't returned. I know the sublevel is dangerous. I'm starting to fear the worst. Would you be willing to go to the ruins of the Enclave to look for him? We are fortunate that you've come. Don't expect it to be easy, though. Things rarely are with Jedi. I will have one of the militia transmit permissions to the Enclave's security door. Go expecting danger, for you will most certainly find it there. Is there anything else I can assist you with? Like many parts of Dantooine, the sub-level of the Enclave has become infested with dangerous creatures. Large, vicious insects called Lagrex have made the sub-level their home. Several salvagers have reportedly been injured or killed by the Lagrex. I would expect a Jedi to fare better against the creatures than the salvagers, but Vrook has not returned in some time. Is there anything else I can assist you with? To most people in the galaxy, the distinction between Sith and Jedi is a blurry one, especially since most Sith were once Jedi. It is complicated by the fact that Malak and Revan were great heroes of the Republic and famed Jedi Knights. But a few years later, they were leading an armada which threatened everyone. And here on Dantooine, the Jedi Enclave provoked a brutal occupation by the Sith. It could have been far worse, but even now the damage has not been fully mended. I don't think everyone hates Jedi. If just a few people changed their minds or spoke up, it could make a great deal of difference. I think that we need the help of the Jedi. If the Jedi's reputation isn't redeemed, the consequences could be quite regrettable. Until then, I would keep your identity secret. Who do you want to know about? There are 3 groups of people on the planet right now. The settlers, salvagers, and the mercenaries. Dantooine is one of the younger worlds of the Republic. A couple of generations ago, this world was still untamed. We made great progress, in no small part due to the Jedi. But recently, we have been losing ground. During the war, the most prominent settler families either fled or were executed by the Sith. Losing their resources and the Jedi was too great a loss. But now we are organizing and starting to truly work together. Once we achieve that, I am confident that Dantooine can be safe and prosperous again. No, I suppose I'm not. We need the Republic and always have. We aren't self-sufficient yet and we need aid. The fate of the Telos project is intimately tied to our own. The most humanitarian elements of the Senate have put their careers at stake in the rebuilding of Telos. If those efforts succeed, their prominence will grow and further aid will be given freely. But if they fail, there are colder, more authoritative elements in the Senate that could come to power. They would think nothing of leaving the strategically unimportant worlds to their own devices. That would be a tragic day for Dantooine and many other worlds. The Republic is in flux. Its final shape is uncertain. They are a necessary inconvenience. Money has been a great concern to us, ever since the Sandrals and Matalays were removed during the Jedi Civil War. The agricultural exports we produce just cover basic maintenance. To expand and prosper, we needed credits, so we had to exploit a valuable resource we had, the ruins of the Jedi Enclave. It was not a decision lightly made, and even then we couldn't do the work ourselves. Too dangerous, and every settler matters on our small world. So we opened the door to enterprising salvagers. The salvagers you see now are the last remnants of that force. The tithe we took from their claims sustains what semblance of government you see now. We plan on using those credits to improve production and protect our world. We have enough to sustain ourselves until more prosperous times. We tolerate their presence because we must, and they generally follow our laws. But their time is almost over. The Jedi Enclave's sublevel is the only place left with reasonable salvage, and it has too many dangers for them. The salvagers aren't warriors. Generally, they are out-of-work miners or cast-offs from other worlds. Mercenaries have been a problem for Dantooine since the end of the Mandalorian Wars. When the Jedi Enclave was here, they were firmly kept in check. But now, relations are uneasy between us. Their leader, Azkul, was a Sith trooper during the war, and I have no doubt he was very good at his job. Until they find work, tensions will grow. If you want to know more, I suggest you talk with Barun in the militia headquarters. He would have more details.
Hello there. You haven't had any new troubles, I hope? I'll tell you anything that's public knowledge. Most militia news passes by me and Zeron. I might be able to help. All right, stay out of trouble now.
I'm the militia captain here. Are you here because you're in trouble or looking for it? I see. Well, what's your reason for coming to militia headquarters? Rare thing, a visitor wanting to help out. Looks to me like you're here to explore the Jedi ruins. But we have a thing or two that need doing. You seriously want to help, just ask about it. Or any other questions you might have. You want something? I've seen a lot of visitors come through Khoonda. You're the first one in a while that looks the capable sort. We have a small problem with Kinrath. Maybe you've already seen some of them. They're coming from a cave in the Khoonda Plains. I'd take care of it myself, but there aren't many people in the militia. We'd lose too many men. There's a reward if you do it. Kinrath are normally just pests. We think something happened to their nest. Started near the end of the Civil War. Nobody knows for sure. Even the Ithorian. And they're smart about such things. Very. The Kinrath you see on the plains aren't as tough as the ones inside the caves. They may not look much different, but they are tough. We used some explosives to seal a cave a couple years back. Just made them angrier. They burrowed another entrance even closer to us. I know there are crystals in there too. Some of the salvagers once thought about going in there to get some extra credits. Too many Kinrath, though. Cave is on the southeast side of the plains. Shouldn't be hard to find. 2,000 credits. I agree with you, but I don't barter. I got more important things to do. That's all I can ask. You want something? Some of the salvagers went deep into the ruins and found a lot of Jedi relics. It's the most valuable haul the salvagers ever got. But all the salvagers that went down there are dead. So it seems every day or so some salvager comes claiming they're owed by such and such, or that they're related. The whole thing makes me sick. Garvik says he won the whole claim in a Pazak game with the last survivor, right before he killed him. But that was a fair fight. There were witnesses. But nobody remembers Garvik ever playing Pazak. I just hope someone takes this blasted claim off my hands. I'm tired of those lowlives pestering me. We've got real work to do. You want something?
Yes? Honor them with battle.
You shouldn't sneak up on an old fella like that. You shouldn't be out of here anyway. This is Kinrath territory. There was a time when seeing a Kinrath was a rare thing. They mostly were around some caves to the south of here. But now, they're everywhere. They're dangerous, too. More vicious than they used to be. I'd stay away from the eastern side of the plains. And now that I think about it, stay away from the west, too. The west is filled with cat hounds. Dantooine is in a sad state these days. Mostly because the Republic has left us to fend for ourselves. I gave the Republic the best years of my life, and I understand they're under pressure. But I think that they'd be able to spare at least something to help us out. All we get is sympathy. Some law and order, for one thing. Take what I'm doing right now. A couple weeks back, there was an accident here. One of the Western Fringe farmers was coming to Khoonda on his swoop with a load of atmospheric sensors. We found him dead and his swoop bike all banged up. I've come back a couple of times to try to figure out if that's what really happened. I'm one of the Khoonda militia. They need all the able bodies they can get. I was a Republic custom inspector before I came back home. Now I'm the closest thing the militia's got to an investigator. I do. The Kinrath are dangerous, but as long as you stay on your swoop bike, there's no way they should catch you. I've carefully searched this area and haven't found anything. So maybe our man just got sloppy. We really need those atmospheric sensors.
But Dantooine is temperate. There is no need for atmospheric sensors except for seasonal data collection.
Huh? It's just important we get it back. They're expensive pieces of equipment, and we can't afford to replace them. Regardless, I don't suppose you'd be willing to keep an eye out for something. I just really need them. It's important. Please come to me if you find any of the atmospheric sensors. I'll pay you 1,000 credits for each one you find, whether they're broken or not. No idea whatsoever. I figure it's a real long shot you'd ever spot one. But I also figure it wouldn't hurt to ask.
know about that. They are vitally important pieces of equipment on tectonically or environmentally unstable regions. But do you really need atmospheric sensors on Dantooine? I'll have this open in no time. Child's play.
Let us test
This won't take long.
Yutapak mito, hai best nikna dochi mapao krawe nosha. What a lord chiba fuso bachila nuba chubanok. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chi luma lispa. Huta yanolia, jukta geni chuba wonki na jung winoton ma no miurita. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chi luma lispa. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chi luma lispa. Bram tabanin sochu. Da come jusmak miki baranye doso so rika chondin, wana magrable mogo. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chi luma lispa. Charika yayakta, min sobachina ninga ballo cha jukso ni chortona. Kavanata galu, kavana mi donki krato. Kavadumpa, mo wendido chokerembi norta kunyun wish chawa kachuba, sura dachi morotuko kansa. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chi luma lispa. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chi luma lispa.
Let's get this over with.
Thoughts are disturbed. I can feel them from a great distance, like a shiver running through you.
This place affects me strangely. There is a tingling in my forehead.
Force-sensitive locations such as this absorb and reflect force energy. The crystals are the catalyst here. I sense that Revan once passed through here, leaving a strong impression behind in the crystals. Perhaps future Jedi who visit this cave will feel our presence, as if seeing our footprints preserved in the soil. The crystals here are infused with the Force. Some could be harvested and used for lightsabers. The crystals here do not drain Force energy from Jedi. They collect the excess energy that radiates from those attuned to the Force. That can hardly be avoided. Even mundane actions of the basest creatures can create detectable ripples in the Force. A Mynock beating its wings on the plains could cause a sandstorm in the desert, and figuratively speaking, Jedi have much bigger wings. That would create quite a large impression of yourself, and the crystals would eventually grow back.
Ready.
Let's go.
very rare indeed. The crystal's bond with you is such that the stronger you become in the Force, the more powerful your crystal will grow. This crystal will make an excellent focus for a lightsaber. Quite the contrary. Picture yourself as a sieve, and the Force as water pouring into you. This crystal draws from the excess water that escapes the sieve. The crystal is in tune with you. It will use whatever water that pours through you, be it dark or light.
Let us test ourselves.
I don't suppose you found any of those atmospheric sensors? That's great news. My offer still stands. I'll pay you 3,000 credits for all of them. I was afraid of that. So, how do we do this, then? We were picking up off-world transmissions between the mercenaries and someone, we don't know who. We know that the mercs are up to something, we just don't know what. We set those atmospheric sensors up to gather information. Now you know why we need those sensors. I'll pay you 5,000 credits for all 3 of them. That's about all we can afford. You make money and help us out at the same time. What do you say? Thanks for your help on this. Here are the credits as promised. I'll get this to Zeron when I get back to Khoonda.
Charanana gundoso remina che l'orak de guru katpada. Fiaratore pada no ringatel camarada tela fibu numbu da bitarana cenirara. Manama treto sobre barak de drun. Krishe mentru gre bavano flank tur na saganich. Grava we no ku se tabate. Trawinsto sopotuto neliep grim patado. Trawinsto busuto neliep gran patada. Tele ronda nana nintolo gradatira. Tere wana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rinto ron kawre kare papanala ranchinga. Terace wemeno totorere sene sensen. Der rinto ron to wakare kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan korsada nane gra dalonuta choloren. Der rinto ron to wakare kwe wapa teratana chingaradana. Fera rampada no de ringtada nel camera cella fi por no botat. Dosene caramala blue incidera nel rebe chinchin cranactada. Tere wana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rinto ron kawre kare. Relibe coronto sa mele grima con corre gimbasa. Rechu contrada suma con tere wana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rinto ron kawre kare papanala ranchinga. Terace wemeno totorere sene sensen. Der rinto ron to wakare kwe wap gerebu. Tere wana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rinto ron kawre kare papanala ranchinga. Terace wemeno totorere sene sensen. Relibe coronto sa mele grima con corre gimbasa. Rechu contrada suma con cere non grum. Gel ractada cemense bingar rukutoto unde chuchur remananza. Tere wana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rinto ron kawre kare papanala ranchinga. Terace wemeno totorere sene sensen. Der rinto ron to wakare kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan korsada nane gra dalonuta choloren. Der rinto ron to wakare kwe wapa teratana chingaradana. Fera rampada no de ringtada nel camera cella fi por no botat. Dosene caramala blue incidera nel. Der rinto ron to wakare kwe wap gerebu. Nenso
It's you again. Well, you know who I am. I figure you've got a reason for coming back. You want something? So you did. Here's the credits I told you about. Even with the caves cleared, I imagine it'll take some time before the Kinrath aren't on the plains. That was very helpful of you. You've saved some lives today. You want something? Some of the salvagers went deep into the ruins and found a lot of Jedi relics. But all the salvagers that went down there are dead. So it seems every day or so some salvager comes claiming they're owed by such and such, or that they're related. But that was a fair fight. There were witnesses. But nobody remembers Garevik ever playing Pazak. I just hope someone takes this blasted claim off my hands. You want something?
Charanana gundoso remine akelorak tu.
My lightsaber. You've destroyed it. I yield, Master. It is as I heard through the Force. My life for yours. You must. The alternative is only another death. And I would rather die by your hands. I have nothing to offer you. Your strength is superior. It is as I felt.
Now I've seen everything. This woman, she's a Miraluka. I didn't think any were left in this part of the galaxy. Yeah, they're a pretty secretive race. I heard that some of their kind become Jedi, but a Sith? That's a new one. I'm not sure how you'd go about killing one. It'd be tricky.
Just mentioning it, she looks like she's suffered enough wounds already, even after the beating you gave her. I heard they had a colony on the Mid-Rim, almost halfway between Onderon and Dantooine. Then, it wasn't there anymore. The whole planet was wiped out. Nothing left alive. No one knows why.
Well, it was a planet of her people. If they see through the Force, who knows? If they're all Force-sensitive, maybe they all saw something through the Force that we can't see, and they left before it happened. Or maybe it killed them. They claim to see on a higher plane than we do. You know, the whole Force thing makes me nervous. Well, some of her wounds are pretty bad. Looks like she was already carrying her share of scars, though. I think she'll recover, yeah.
She is a threat to us. I am not asking that she be harmed or interrogated, but she is of the Sith, and she has attacked us once. She should not be allowed to walk freely on the ship. Yes? Training is something reserved for certain caste members of the Echani, but I do not see the harm in instructing you in some basic principles. I do not understand how you and Atris fight, but I will instruct you on how Echani children are raised on warfare. All Echani fighting principles rely on foundations. If one does not understand the most basic of fighting moves, it is not possible to understand the higher tiers. It is similar to learning the alphabet of a language before being able to use words, then sentences. As a foundation, I will instruct you in our elementary movements. The body itself is the first weapon you must master. It is not something that can be described. Let us duel, you and I, and that shall teach you more than my words can. Use only your hands and feet to strike at me, nothing else, or our combat shall be over. Do not resort to using any items or any force techniques you may possess. Such things will obstruct learning. Very well. I shall match my movements to resist your efforts, and do not hold back, or I will hurt you. You have violated. Very well. As a foundation, I will instruct you in our elementary movements. It is not something that can be described. Let us duel. Use only your hands and feet to strike it. Very well. I shall match my movements to resist your effort. You fought well indeed. You have caught the principles of the style by watching and anticipating my movements. Before you go, there is something I must know. Why did you go back? Face trial. I see. It was always something I was curious about, to walk to one's own sentence willingly. It's a brave thing. You may ask. I do not think you are ready for further instruction. Each movement of our arts demands some time to use the art in battle, or to examine how it may be best used in battle. Duels among the Echani are rituals, and it does not allow for armor or anything that restricts movement. Your modesty has no place in combat. Even the youngest of the Echani understand this. You should as well. It is the way of the Echani to be able to read their opponents, to know where an opponent is going to strike before it connects, anticipate it, and then strike against them. Echani battles are fought several minutes in advance, In many ways, it is much like the game of Dejarik, played in the core systems. The most advanced among the Ichani are able to predict the course of battles by months, and the most revered are said to be able to predict the path of wars. Only Revan ever demonstrated such skill in war, and even as he slaughtered us, the Ichani still respected him. You are already doing it. If you do not know you are doing it, then training will make you a dangerous opponent indeed. Come, as we fight more, I will teach you. Do not think about predicting my movements. React instinctively. You are doing better. At first, I was afraid that your awareness of your own ability might ruin it, but that is not the case. You learn quickly. Perhaps it is your connection to the Force that allows such things, but I do not think so. Now you fight as an Ichani warrior fights, always in the future.
Glad I found you again, General. We were together at Malachor. I don't know if anyone else could understand. You getting philosophical on me? I'm here because you found me on Telos and I decided to come along for the ride. Not that I had much choice after we got going. Tired of me already? I was frustrated. Watching the Ithorians getting pushed around by Zerka, I thought I could make a difference, but it was taken away from me. Guess if one planet was good enough for me, why not the galaxy? You might not be looking, but maybe it'll happen along the way. Was there something you wanted me for? Let me see what you have. No, you're still missing a lens. Something else I can help you with?
My life for yours. I am able to serve. If we enter battle, I will fight and die alongside you. I have not heard that question in some time. My flesh is healed, if that's the answer you seek. The scars are many and the causes equally so. It is of no importance. I felt you, heard you through the Force. It was like a sound at the edge of hearing. And when I heard it, I found I could not ignore it. I serve my master. I am an emissary, a scout. My master was aware of a disturbance in the Force, but was unaware of its nature, of you. The disturbance is not something one feels from a living thing. There is little my master does not know, and that you eluded his sight for so long is significant. But I do not know why. You cannot. His vessel roams the borders of known space, and even I do not know where he travels, until he calls for me. Even if I could lead you to my master, I cannot permit you to find him until you are ready. If I bring you before my master untested, without your potential realized, then you will be lost to me, and I cannot allow that to happen. It would be as if one brought fire to a paradise valley, shattered a cavern of rare crystal, or blinded a painter. I cannot, I will not. I would die first, and gladly, to preserve you, untouched, unharmed. Now that I have found you, I cannot sacrifice what I have found. You will meet my master. It is inevitable. I have seen it. And when you stand before him and realize what you face, you must be prepared. Until then, I must protect you, help you, until you are ready. There's a greatness in you. A greatness that does not stem from the Force. It stems from who you are. And if my master does not understand you, cannot see you, then perhaps there is hope for us all. But if you seek to survive, then you must understand why this is so. There is much I see my master cannot. I fear it is because of my nature, the nature of my race. My people spend their lives seeing the galaxy, the energy streaming off stars, the growth of life, all things touched by the Force. It is not a subject which I have spoken of since its destruction. The planet was not destroyed. It remains. It orbits, dead in space. But nothing lives on its surface. It echoes, but there's no one left to hear it. I am not certain I did. I was there when the planet died. To see everything around you extinguished. It was as if I was blinded. It was as if the Force had been bled from the world. I imagine there are worse deaths, worse pain. But if there are, I do not know them. I was the only living thing remaining on the planet of Qatar. And my life, my agony, was a flicker in the darkness that was the planet. All that I had been connected to had been severed. I've heard tales of Malachor. It is said that many of my people felt the end of the Mandalorian Wars from across the galaxy. But do not mistake me. I did not mean to draw comparisons between Qatar and Malachor. My homeworld still exists. It is intact. Forgive me, but before you go, I must ask. Why do you do this? Why do you seek to help me? Teach me. You must not do this. I cannot allow you to weaken yourself for me. So you say, but it is not something I have observed or seen. I remember little of my homeworld before I entered my master's service. It is not as it was. There is little left of such memories. Or the planet itself. It is not a subject.
You seem pretty calm. It's almost streaming off of you. A lot calmer than you were on Paragus when I first met you. Well, it's good to see. You're a nice counterbalance to that old witch back there. Alright, what did you want to know?
You have befriended the seer. Her species does not see as we do. They perceive the galaxy through the Force, and it is how she found you. It is a rare gift squandered on her people. The Sith carry the battle to you, and you spare them. And as we travel, the empty places of this ship are filled. I hope your thoughts in this matter are clear. In saving her, you may destroy yourself. And do not mate with her. Whatever you may feel, whatever urges consume you, do not let them control you. Such a union would breed difficulties. We shall see. I trust your exile has taught you restraint and discipline in the ways of the flesh. Like the servant of Atris, this one has other masters. Though blind, she has ties to darkness. Her presence here is a threat to us, to you. Do not underestimate her or her loyalty. Perhaps I am not convinced. Did he? And what do you make of that? You are right to trust your instincts. Something is wrong. It is only a matter of discovering what and why. If your instincts lead you to an answer, seek me out. Perhaps we will discuss more. Ask, and I will answer. That crystal is bonded to you. Through you, it acquires its character and strength. And through it, your power is enhanced. Should your power increase or your resolve change, speak to me again about this matter, and I will help you refocus your crystal. Is there something else you wished? He, if he can truly be called a man any longer, is one of the dark lords that pursues you. I do not think he knows what you are. Not yet. He spared the Miraluka, and that may have been the last shred of feeling that exists within him. Keep his slave close to you. I suspect there was a reason he spared her, and perhaps a reason that she survived when the rest of her people and the Jedi did not. Entertain what illusions you will. I am too tired to argue them with you. One cannot have power of that magnitude that her master possesses and still think and perceive the universe as we do, as most of us do. I had hoped that you would not have to confront him, but her presence here has changed all that. You will have to meet him in battle. You must be prepared to sacrifice the blinded one. Perhaps her death will buy you the time you need to deal with her master. Entertain what illusions you will. I am too tired to argue them with you. It is a technique that is almost as old as the Sith themselves. It is a means of severing connections between life, the Force, and feeding upon the death it causes. It cannot be taught. It can only be gained through instinct, through experiencing its effects firsthand. Yes, and he fed upon its destruction. It will sustain him for a time. Power? Do you think so? You would be wrong. There is no strength in the hunger he possesses, and the will behind his power is a primal thing, and it devours him as he devours others. His mere presence kills all around him, slowly feeding him. He is already dead. It is simply a question of how many he kills before he falls. Nothing is impossible with the Force. It is an energy that flows through all living things, and like energy, it may be harnessed, channeled, and consumed at times. It may even be a substance that can burn and ignite. Do not think of his power as one would a weapon, or one of your warships of the Republic. It is terrible, but it is still a subtle thing. The sect of assassins that chase you feed on the Force. What he does is simply the pinnacle of what they could achieve in time. And that is why they and their techniques must be wiped out. No one again must experience and learn what her master did. As much as one may use the Force to bolster the wills and strengths of others, the reverse is possible, though not often used. Instead of sending one's will through connections in the Force, instead such connections are drawn upon, fed upon, and drained completely. Then you understand how terrible such a power is, and why it must be ended. It is an empty road to the dark side, and by traveling it, the price is death before one's time. He is a breach in the Force, capable of consuming the lives of those around him. Sometimes the touch is slow, as it is with his crew. It is not something he can direct or focus, much like hunger itself. He is more of a hole in the Force than a living thing. Force sensitives and worlds rich in the Force draw him. The Miraluka world was one such place. That is why where the Jedi gather, Jedi will die. He will feel it, unless they mask their presence. But Katar called out as a beacon to him, and he could not resist it. And he cares nothing for the Sith, or its teachings, or the Jedi. And when the Jedi are dead, he will feed on the galaxy, the Republic, and eventually consume the Sith as well. There is no future in the empty galaxy he sees, and that is why he must be stopped. The breach must be sealed before his power grows beyond what even we can hope to stop. Ask, and I will answer. She did nothing to your eyes that was not already there. She has forced this upon you, but such crude methods are the markings of the Sith. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Feel this ship around you. Listen to my words. Hear the sound of the handmaidens training in the cargo hold, her hands cutting the air. The welding of the droid as it goes about its work. Now, stretch out. Hear the rumble of hyperspace, the hum of the hyperdrive. Ignore distractions and focus on my voice. The breathing of the blinded one as she meditates in the dark. Now, listen deeper, past her breathing, and listen.
As my feet walk from the ashes of Katar, I shall not fear, for in fear lies death, and
you are strong indeed. What you heard were surface thoughts only, but it is something that masters have trained for years and never learned. That is not the real question you should ask. Is such listening enough to perceive the world around you? It is not, because to listen to the thoughts of another is much like attempting to see the universe only with your eyes. It is equally limiting. Now leave me be. I must rest.
I do not think you are ready for further instruction.